Judge, I haven't had the time to talk about co-parent coaching, similar to Ms. Cooper. Mr. Thatcher and I were talking about that briefly this morning, but not without any direction from the court. So I will continue to talk to him about that. I too think that it would be beneficial and helpful. Kaylin's only 11, so
A long-running custody dispute is finally showing signs of progress. Both parents are negotiating a path forward, but years of tension still linger beneath the surface. With therapy, parenting schedules, and family dynamics under scrutiny, every decision matters. Subscribe now for more dramatic courtroom breakdowns and legal moments today.
15th of 26, and frankly, it lays out what appears to be adoptable recommendations to me anyway. But I'm happy to hear from counsel. I guess it's mom's motion originally, I think.
That's correct. That's correct.
Yeah, motion to adopt what she said at that point was the de facto parenting plan. But Ms. Cooper, where do you see that we are at? What's your position, your client's position?
Thank you, Your Honor. As the court indicated, we have been negotiating for quite some time. This morning, we're essentially on board with the recommendations of the therapist. We were back and forth about logistics on how to implement this, mainly based on Kaylin's rodeo schedule. But I do think we have an agreement going forward with continued individual therapy and continued family therapy. The parties have agreed to do this kind of a step-up plan as suggested by the therapist, where Kaylin would start with one overnight with her dad this week. We're talking about that starting tonight because there happens to be a rodeo on Thursday, so other days this week don't really work. And then conveniently, there is a family therapy session scheduled tomorrow, so they will be able to kind of discuss how that has gone so far, and then
Okay.
our idea would be to try two overnights next week, for example.
Okay, hang on just a minute before I forget. Ms. Locke, is your client still with his wife? Are they separated? Are they getting a divorce? What's the status of their relationship?
Judge, they are currently living separate from each other, but there's been no formal divorce proceeding. My understanding is that it's been essentially contact with stepmom has been child-led. So if she wants to see her, that's been facilitated, but she's not there during dad's parenting time.
Okay, all right, well, that takes care of that. The only other thing that I was going to mention, then I'll let you finish, is that I don't know, the problem is Emporia is closer to them than Wichita, really. But I had thought that these two might benefit from co-parent counseling together. But I'm not sure if it's something they can do remotely, whether they can manage to do it, whether the kids are at an age now where it's not worth the investment. I'm not really sure, but I'd like to hear what your position is about the parents being in some kind of co-parent counseling. Go ahead, Ms. Cooper. Sorry for interrupting you.
Thank you, Your Honor. I haven't discussed that with my client. I'm not sure the logistics on how they'd be able to participate in that, but if there is something online or remote that they could participate in, that's probably going to work into both of their schedules better. I'd be happy to discuss that idea with my client. It might be a good idea going forward. Kaylin's schedule is very busy. She has a series of rodeo events through the beginning of July. The parties have exchanged and agreed to a schedule where she can participate in those as she's already been registered for them. Going forward, though, the parties have agreed that they will communicate with each other before communicating with either child about what type of events or activities they might want to sign up for during the other parent's parenting time. So I think we've solidified that going forward past the July 4th weekend. Not sure if I've missed anything else. The idea is to, and we can put these all in a journal entry, Your Honor, with the dates going forward, is when the usual parenting time, the anticipated date that we'll get back to that would be relatively soon, so long as that's consistent with uh, therapeutic input.
Okay, Ms. Locke?
Judge, I haven't had the time to talk about co-parent coaching, similar to Ms. Cooper. Mr. Thatcher and I were talking about that briefly this morning, but not without any direction from the court. So I will continue to talk to him about that. I too think that it would be beneficial and helpful. Kaylin's only 11, so there's 7 more years of back and forth at least that will happen. So I agree with what Ms. Cooper said, that tonight would likely be the first overnight in this stepped up base, their stepped up calendar, and then work towards 2 nights, 3 nights until we're back in that regular rhythm, with the counselor participating in that as we go ahead. Part of the challenge that we've had is extracurriculars being scheduled without a lot of communication. The parties, I think, got a lot of their feelings on the table this morning, with council present, and hopefully have decided to take the windshield view. So looking forward, how can we do a better job of communicating and scheduling in a way that recognizes both parents' importance while also allowing the child to participate in her favored activities. So I'm hopeful that
I can't remember. I'm sorry. They had a son that was rodeoing.
This exchange reveals the heart of the conflict. The issue is no longer just parenting time, it's communication. Both attorneys acknowledge that extracurricular activities created tension, while the judge focuses on cooperation moving forward. Can these parents truly work together, or will old disagreements resurface once again later?
And I can't remember which parent is more an advocate in the rodeo circuit from the other. Okay.
So mom is the rodeo and dad is typically the dirt bike racing. So the son is primarily doing dirt bikes and the daughter is primarily on the rodeo side of things currently.
Okay.
But I would agree with Ms. Cooper that we could get these dates into a schedule and then into an order to present to the court.
All right, very good. Let's see. I'm looking at your proposed page 4 on extracurricular. That required that the parents will discuss and agree to activities prior to signing the children up
Yes,
or
Judge.
enrolling. Is that the plan going forward?
After this kind of chunk that's already been exchanged back and forth, that would be the plan moving forward.
Okay. What about the alternative dispute resolution? I mean, I think when you have attorneys that can negotiate and mediate and everybody in the same room and discuss, and make progress, that they're paying the attorneys, and especially, like I said, where they're geographically situated, I think I'm fine with that. But if we put a dispute resolution in here, then they're gonna have to follow it. And historically, they haven't done a lot of, well, not as of recent anyway, had like a case manager or anything like that. So I'm not sure what 16 is intended to be, and if something like that's going to end up in your parenting plan, then it has to be followed, or
And
somebody
Judge, I don't,
try to enforce it.
and Ms. Cooper and I didn't really talk about like a comprehensive plan, but we can talk about that in advance of
Okay.
filing the initial dates as well.
Okay. And then when do you want to review this? Let me see a social media. I'm just trying to go over some of this stuff. So what about any issues with the social media? Anything that is a current issue?
Not to my knowledge, Judge.
Okay. All right. Very good.
I don't think so either.
Yeah. Well, at some point I would, when this is kind of gets to a final, more of a permanent plan, I will want you to have in there a lot of this proposed language, discussed and agreed to. If it's statutory, it's doesn't require an agreement. But some of it is pretty standard. Anyway, okay. Who is going to journalize?
I can journalize. It's not I think I did file a response, but I think I have the majority of the dates, so
Okay.
I can journalize.
All right. Thank you. And then how soon do you want to review?
I would propose a review in September to allow them to get through barrel racing and kind of see where we are and how it's gone with additional scheduling.
Okay.
That makes sense to me too.
Okay. So Amy, will this be, you'll have to let me know when you want an actual evidentiary hearing. But will this be just a review?
I think so. I
hope
think
that-
at that point, we'll either know that this is settled and we won't need a hearing, or we'll know that maybe we do.
Okay. So, Amy, let's just do, I still like to give them an hour as opposed to 30 minutes in September.
Oh, September, okay. I'm sorry, I missed how far out you were looking. We have a domestic day on September 17th and you're open all day. That's a Thursday.
I'm available that morning.
All right.
Me too. The morning works for me.
Do you like 9 or 10 better?
No.
Doesn't
Is
matter.
fine. Yeah.
Okay.
9. Okay. We'll set it at 9 on September 17th. Amy, mark out 11 to 1 for me. That's my husband's 70th birthday. I'd probably at least eat lunch with him that day.
Okay.
Okay. Anything?
Judge,
I thank you for your patience with me this morning. Yes.
One question, and I don't know if this will be for the court or for Ms. Cooper, but tonight's exchange, Mr. Thatcher is willing to pick up at the training. So if that location could be communicated, he'll just pick her up at the training facility and take her from there.
Okay, I can get that to you. I don't know where it is exactly.
Yes.
Our normal Casey's drop off and pickup spot would be fine for tonight. I'll communicate the time when we're done with practice, if that would work.
I think he'd like to see her.
The hearing concludes with a structured plan, gradual overnight visits, continued therapy, and a future review date. Instead of a courtroom battle, the parties leave with a framework for rebuilding trust and stability. Whether this agreement succeeds remains the biggest question. Like, comment, and subscribe for more courtroom stories.